Good afternoon. As the Dean of the Northwestern University Pritzker School of Law, I am pleased to welcome the class of 2018 to this graduation convocation. Congratulations to all of you. A special welcome to the friends and families of the graduates. I know I speak for all of the members of the law school community in thanking you for your support and sacrifices, without which the achievements of the graduates could simply not have been possible. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our special guests seated on the stage. Northwestern University President Morty Shapiro, for the first time at our commencement, our Provost Jonathan Holloway, and our speaker Sharon Bowen from the class of 1982. Welcome. I also want to welcome Megan Byrne-Kruger, Assistant Dean, Student Life Part-Time MBA Program, and Fran Langjewicz, Assistant Dean and Director of Student Life from the Kellogg School of Management. And from IE Law School, our partner school in Madrid, we have Maria Mercedes Blanco Sortal, Associate Director of the LLM program. This is a special day for Northwestern University and our law school. Today marks the 158th law school commencement. Convocation is always a wonderful opportunity to acknowledge and honor esteemed graduates who have gone forth from Northwestern to accomplish extraordinary things in their professional lives. You too will do great things in the coming years and decades, and those of us on the stage who have been privileged to be your teachers look with eager anticipation to see what you will add to the legacy of this cherished law school. While you've been here at the law school, your class has already achieved much. You have demonstrated a remarkable commitment to public service, donating thousands of hours to public service and public interest. You've participated in innovative, impactful programs in the Bloom Legal Clinic and elsewhere, programs where you've received critical practical training while also improving the quality of justice and preserving and advancing human rights. You have traveled around the world learning about different legal systems and working in various law reform and public service capacities in Africa and Asia, in Latin America and the Middle East. Many of you have done significant original research, this part of journals, and as participants in our unique senior research program. And you have participated in various student organizations, all of which contribute to Northwestern Law School's common weal. I want to say to you graduates on the occasion of this commencement, the last one of which I will take part in as dean, a word of advice and of optimism. My focus here is on the quality of human behavior, which is encapsulated in the term resilience. Resilience, defined as the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties or toughness. Such an important characteristic, such an important goal, even where it is difficult to obtain and equally difficult to sustain. In a fundamental sense, resilience is what protects us against extraordinary trauma and enables us to persevere in the face of challenging personal and professional circumstances. Of course, we all have our own stories. And even without knowing the details, I am quite confident that many of you, perhaps most of you, have faced significant challenges during your time here at Northwestern, and thus have had to demonstrate resilience. You have overcome these obstacles, or else you would not be here today, crossing the stage, and with the congratulations of me and my colleagues up here, embarking on the next phase of your incredible professional and personal journeys. Do please take a moment to acknowledge your accomplishments in surmounting these challenges, and likewise acknowledge those close to you, maybe classmates, friends, and family, perhaps one or another individual up here on this stage, who helped you surmount these challenges. Resilience, after all, is not a solitary undertaking or a skill best practiced solo. It is a characteristic that involves collaborative engagement and behavior in a social setting with other human beings. Resilience is what we have and what we need to sustain us in a dynamic environment made up of imperfect humans and institutions. Humans and institutions who at times frustrate us, disappoint us, and can put barriers and walls up between us and our goals and dreams. But let me also say that resilience has a more prosaic function, and that is to enable us to maintain our energy and initiative, and even our composure, in the face of the day-to-day stresses and strains of ordinary life. in your case at Northwestern, what you encountered in the daily life of a law student. Earlier this week, there was an article in the New York Times under the Smarter Living headline, this on the topic of burnout. The author began with a confession that, quote, "For the last week or so, I felt a little drained." As he says colorfully, "My mojo has been a little off." I don't know about you, but that last line really spoke to me. There are times, I confess, where my mojo has been a little off. I think I can say with confidence that everyone on this stage has seen me in that condition when my mojo has been off. Yes, I'm looking at you, Morty Shapiro, Jonathan Holloway. I'm sure you can all relate. I suspect that all of you have had your mojo off moments. Usually these moments result from the ever impactful and seemingly ever expanding stress of daily life. Now, I'm not going to be that guy giving advice about how best to avoid stress or how to de-stress. I won't do that because, well, I'm not that guy. I live with a good amount of stress. My family, one key part of which is here with me on this stage in the form of Professor Leslie Oster. She insisted that I mention her name somewhere in this speech. So I did. Also lives with stress. And I will confess that as dean of the law school, I even do things that create stress in other folks' lives. Yes, my name is Dan Rodriguez, and I am a stress giver. You know what I'm talking about. So instead of telling you not to have stress in your life, what I want to say to you is to be resilient. Use your skills, use your talents, use your education, including your first-rate Northwestern legal education, to become resilient, to use resilience in the face of trauma and of stress. Your mojo is a little off, then think of your resilience as a mojo-enhancing set of tactics and techniques. Last point about resilience, and this is at the macro level, at the level of our society and of our legal system. We are truly facing real challenges in our democracy and in our social world. The stressors on our body politic are palpable and often serious. In your time here at Northwestern, whether 1, 2, or 3 years, you have experienced these stressors and perhaps, like me, have worried about the capacity of our legal system, our economy, our governmental institutions, and even our social fabric to absorb these stressors and surmount these challenges. But I am optimistic, and I urge you to be optimistic. Ours is, in the end, a resilient society, and our legal system, our constitutional system of government, the oldest in the world, endures and even thrives because we, the people, are resilient. So first, at the individual level, have faith in yourselves as strong, resilient individuals, educated at one of the very best law schools in the land, and capable of enduring what law firms, clients, elected officials, and many others will throw at you, and capable of coming out on the other end with your mojo intact. And at the system level, have faith in our legal system's capacity and our world's capacity to endure and prosper as well. To return to the Smarter Living article I mentioned before, we hear from the author that, quote, "There are countless reasons we get in these funks." And that's right. Or to borrow a line from some of your parents, right on. But my message to you is simply this. It is how we get out of these funks, how we, wait for it, defunkify our lives. That is the measure of accomplishment and of greatness. It has been a pleasure and a singular honor to serve as your dean and to serve Northwestern University, and I thank you and congratulate you as you go forth and conquer the world. Thank you. With that, let me welcome to the podium our president, Morty Shapiro. Morty is an extraordinary leader of our great university and is an invaluable friend to the law school. We thank him for all his guidance, grace, and support.
Right on. Well, thank you, Dan, for the opportunity to say a few brief words at such a memorable afternoon. Commencement festivities are obviously a time to mark transitions, and as Dan just alluded to, while we celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates, and certainly thank the faculty and staff on this stage and elsewhere who contributed so much to our students' experience, I also want to recognize Dan Rodriguez's transition from dean. Now, when we sign up for administrative positions, we all have the same goal: to leave our organization stronger than when we started. And by any measure, that is clearly the case. at the Northwestern University Pritzker School of Law. Dan, over the past 7 years, you put your heart and soul and mojo into making a great law school even greater. And as a result, my prediction is that you're going to go down in history as one of our university's most accomplished leaders. Please join me in saluting our Dean, Dan Rodriguez. Now, as for the graduates, congratulations on all that you have achieved. I know you've learned a tremendous amount during your time here, whether it was 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, as Dan pointed out. But I trust that you have both the humility to recognize that your learning is far from over, but also the tools to educate yourself for a lifetime. People change, the challenges of society change, and the law changes. The one constant is that the need for ongoing education never ends. So here's my advice in my 30 seconds I have remaining. To the students, always wear your purple proudly. Don't be afraid to be a leader, even when you place yourself at personal or professional risk. And be sure to reflect the best of the values of your alma mater. Thank you, and congratulations once again.
Thank you, Morty, for those very generous words and very important words to our graduates. It is a long-standing tradition at Northwestern Law School for the graduating class to select members of its class to deliver remarks. This year's class has selected 3 speakers, a JD graduate, an LLM graduate, and a graduate of the Master of Science in Law program. Our first speaker is JD graduate Stephen Kobe I.E. Larte. Well known to all of you, as you can tell, Kobe, prior to joining Northwestern Law School, graduated magna cum laude from Ithaca College, where he received a BA in legal studies and minors in international politics and African diaspora studies. While at Northwestern, Kobe served as president of the Black Law Students Association, co-chaired the Visibility Initiative, and served as symposium editor for the Journal of Criminal Law and Criminology. After graduation, Kobe will be joining the firm of Cleary Gottlieb in New York, where he will be doing capital markets work. As he joins us up on the stage, I want to acknowledge Kobe and say his contributions to the Northwestern law community have been meaningful and extensive, and we are honored to welcome him here to the stage.
Thank you, Dean Rodriguez, for that kind introduction. On behalf of the class of 2018, let me express our profound gratitude to you, Dean Rodriguez, for your service to the law school and to the university. We wish you, our boy Rico, and Professor Leslie Oster the very best in the adventures that lie ahead. Thank you. I would be remiss if I did not extend, on behalf of our class, our sincere congratulations to our next dean, Professor Kimberly Urako. We so look forward to the impact you will make and the community you will help cultivate and lead here at Northwestern. Congratulations again, once again, Professor Urako. We would like to thank our loved ones who, through their sacrifice, love, and support, have brought us to this great moment in our lives. We owe you a debt of gratitude. Truly, we would not be here without you. Thank you very much. And to the professors, administrators, and staff members, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all you've done for and with us over the past 3 years. And to the professors especially, we will miss you, but certainly not your cold calls or your exams, and definitely not the 7-hour ones. I'm looking at you, Lan. And speaking of professors, by the way, I will say that there's been a lot of exciting chatter in the week leading up to graduation. Some folks were wondering if Professor Shoked would get his regalia tailored, just as he does his extra slim fit suits. And of course, whether Professor Markel would go sort of haute couture and wear his chicken suit. Or will Professor Dana go sort of Seattle chic and wear his hiking boots and jeans to graduation again? And will Professor Sharpo accessorize with his famous boombox? You know, I'm not sure any of that happened, but I have been asked to inform you that Professor Cadence and Markel will be handing out mini UCC books as you leave the Chicago Theater this afternoon. It is their hope that the UCC will carry you in good times and in bad. I'm just kidding, folks. Don't expect the UCC book. That is, in fact, fake news. Congratulations to us, the Northwestern Pritzker School of Law class of 2018. Or as some unsuspecting tourists during our 1L year called it, my lovely Airbnb with a beautiful view of Lake Michigan. It's true, it's true. In all seriousness, I am deeply honored to speak to you on behalf of our class. I will admit that putting this speech together was no easy task, not only because that evidence final was rough, thank you, Professor Kohler, but because I thought, what is this young black man just trying to make it in this world going to say to his classmates, a bunch of young folks also trying to make it in this world. But here we are, folks, here we are. Here we are realizing what for some, if not all of us, is one of our greatest dreams. We have worked so hard, we have sacrificed very much, and we have remained focused, despite personal and professional trials, in the fog of a tumultuous social political climate, to reach this place, to achieve this milestone. We ought to, each of us, take a moment to honor the time, dedication, and effort that has brought us here. We ought to, each of us, take time to be truly grateful for the opportunities we have received, because we are privileged for it. Not because we are intrinsically better than the next person who didn't make it here, but because we got some help, a ladder up, a nudge forward that helped bring us here today. And so we owe ourselves and our communities of love and support a moment of profound gratitude. Because Northwestern Law Class of 2018, we have experienced extraordinary things. While we were here, we saw an increase in public interest funding and other initiatives and programs, thanks in large part to that generous $100 million. From that act of generosity, we understood clearly that one act of generosity can, in fact, make the difference between a dream realized and a dream deferred or simply cast away. That was in our time. While we were here, we were student leaders, trusted voices in our communities at times of uncertainty when it seemed as though our very humanity was being challenged and our dignity constricted. Nonetheless, we were up to the task, and we led our student organizations successfully. That was us. When we look back at our time here, we will remember not the sting of that bad cold call, but the words of our classmates who encouraged us with words of comfort. Here, we learned to disagree without being disagreeable, and we learned to separate arguments which are based on fact and reasoning from those which are built on shaky and sometimes dangerous foundations. While we were here, we were part of clinical programs that generated new, exciting entrepreneurial ideas and solutions. We worked to help free those who had been wrongfully convicted. We worked to secure asylum for our clients, and we advised governments around the world, reminding us of our capacity to utilize our privilege for the betterment of our humanity. While we were here, we wrote briefs to the Supreme Court of the United States. Yes, my friends, that was us. While we were here, we learned that the loudest voices are not always, or really ever, the most thoughtful or persuasive. No, it is the voices that asked us to pause, to consider all the perspectives with intellect, compassion, and humanity. Those were the voices that will ultimately win the day. While we were here, we were lifted up by folks like Cynthia and Christina at Harry's. With their warm smile, grace, and love, we were comforted by Susie, Cliff, Scotty, Ernie, Shannon, Michelle, and so many others. And we listened to each other's stories. We laughed together. We danced together. We got a little too lit together. And we studied together. Together we experienced both moments of triumph and trial. That was us. All of us. Folks of a great deal of means. Some means, very little, and none. First generation, Latino, Latina, white, Asian, Black, Native American, straight, queer, amongst other identities. While we were here, we learned at a time in which lawyers took center stage in the national debate on immigration that indeed, empathy is our greatest tool and courage our truest compass. In our time here, we have seen clearly the humanity in one another. We've made deep connections with folks we might otherwise not have made connections with. And class of 2018, I believe each of us is more interested in building bridges than building walls. And so let the connections we made and the stories we heard carry us in our journey ahead. You see, one of the greatest lessons we learned, I think, is that the true power of the law comes not in its ability to shape the minds and attitudes of societies, but rather in the power people possess to change the law for the better, to shift it so that, in the words of that courageous man, Dr. King, it bends a little more toward justice. But let us be clear, the challenge ahead is great. It is made tougher in part because there is a distrust of lawyers. But we have now the opportunity to shape people's perceptions of lawyers and indeed the core of the profession itself so that it is more compassionate, kind, and diverse. Yes, class of 2018, it is no longer them, it is us. And we have now the obligation not only to ourselves, but to our communities of love and support, and future generations to make this hope a reality. And so the question is, what does it mean to be a Northwestern Law graduate in 2018? When we cross this stage, let us remember, in the words of the great Maya Angelou, I know you were waiting for it, when you learn, teach, and when you get, give. Indeed, with this education we've obtained, we have so much to give and teach while learning still. And so when we leave this place, let us remember our obligation to humanity, and especially to the most vulnerable amongst us. And so where there is oppression, let us be voices for justice. Where there is fear, let us be champions of hope. Class of 2018, this is our moment and this is our time. A world of opportunity lies ahead. Therefore, with courage guiding us, with our eyes fixed firmly on the future, with confidence in our convictions, with faith in humanity, and with hope in the future, let us go forward and do our part to contribute to a world more just and perfect. As we say in my language, Akan, Medamwase Papa Apa. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Kobe. I'm just going to go off script for just a moment to ask anyone who's in the wings, Ernie and Evan, if they could get some water. Just grab as many bottles of water as you can find for a little warm-up here on the stage. Again, thank you, Kobe, for those wonderful words. It is now my pleasure to welcome our second student speaker, Konstantin Vishna. Konstantin is a graduate of the LLM program for foreign lawyers. Prior to joining Northwestern Law, Konstantin studied law at Ludwig Maximilians University in Munich, Germany, and afterwards clerked at the Higher Regional Court of Frankfurt. Konstantin was an active member of the law school's community, representing his home country of Germany during the Global Village and actively participating in various panel discussions. His educational focus was corporate and capital markets law, as well as interdisciplinary classes like the law school's Innovation Lab. After graduation, Konstantin will move back to Germany, where he will work as a lawyer and continue to spread the wildcat spirit on the continent. Konstantin.
President Shapiro, Dean Rodriguez, distinguished members of the faculty, proud families, fellow graduates, and my friends from the LLM program. Before I start my speech, let us all thank our families and friends who supported us in so many ways to get us where we are today. Many of those we owe our gratitude to can't be here today. Nevertheless, let us keep them close to our hearts, knowing who they are and what they mean to us. Let me also thank the members of the faculty for a hugely inspiring year at Northwestern. With their work as educators, scholars, and leaders, they prepared us for what will follow after graduation. Dean Rodriguez is leaving Northwestern with us. I want to seize this opportunity to thank him for his leadership towards an interdisciplinary view of the law that inspires us to rethink the law as and for lawyers of the future. I also want to thank the whole international office at the law school. They were the important first point of contact for so many different questions from us. And those of us who attended the LEAF program will always be able to say, yes, there is such a thing as summer in Chicago. Finally, I want to thank you, my fellow graduates. Whether you're JD, LLM, or MSL, all of you made Northwestern an experience I will treasure for the rest of my life. Without you, Northwestern would be just a place. You brought memories, thoughts, discussions, and laughter into law school. That I will always be grateful for. But as Speaker of the LLMs, it is my pleasure to address especially you, my friends. During the last couple of days, when I've talked to you, when I've listened to you, and when I look around today, I see purple pride in all of you. Rightfully so. You not only made it into Northwestern, today you graduate. But what is it that we call purple pride? In particular, what exactly makes it purple? I believe the answer lies in the Northwestern experience. Before John Henry Wigmore joined Northwestern Law School in 1893 and later became the first full-time dean of our law school, his legal curiosity brought him to Japan, as has yours brought you to Chicago. Wigmore was surrounded by a foreign language, a foreign culture, and by foreign colleagues. And as all of us LLMs did this year, he compared what he learned about the law to what he knew from home. John Henry Wigmore was a global thinker, and he brought this spirit back to Northwestern. Crossing borders and oceans to broaden our horizons, being open to foreign knowledge and perspectives, not forgetting where we're coming from, but to reflect upon it, to be inspired, to learn with each other, from each other. You, my dear classmates, are global thinkers, as John Henry Wigmore was. Never in my life I was surrounded by such a diverse group of intelligent, curious, and kind people. People who can respectfully disagree. People who are brave enough to travel to the unfamiliar. And people who are willing to rethink what they know. My fellow LLMs, this is what makes it purple. This is what we can take pride in. I enjoyed every second of it, and for the future I say, let us practice what we learned. Let us be open and thoughtful of what we cherish. Let us never be afraid to reach out. Let this not be the end of this experience. Let this be the beginning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Constantine. Our final student speaker is a graduate of our newest program, the Master of Science in Law, a program which graduates its 4th class this year. She is Lauren Robinson. Prior to joining Northwestern Law, Lauren was a Division I rower at the University of California at Los Angeles. There, Lauren served as an undergraduate assistant in the Life Sciences Department and discovered a love of mathematical modeling. While in the MSL program, Lauren participated in the International Team Project, where she traveled to Belgium and the Netherlands to research data privacy and protection in the healthcare industry. Lauren will begin law school in the fall of 2018. Lauren Robinson.
Thanks. First off, I'd like to give all my thoughts and prayers to one member of our Northwestern Law family. And thank you, Dean Rodriguez, for the gracious introduction, faculty, staff, alumni, distinguished guests, family, and Kobe and Constantine for their wonderful remarks. And also, happy Mother's Day, early Mother's Day. You know, as I was walking up here, and even right now, I can distinctly hear my mother's voice, and it's amazing how far a proud mom's voice will travel. It's twice as far as a normal voice, in case you're wondering, but that's science, don't question it. So here's a fact about me. I've gone to 7 different schools, and it wasn't necessarily because my family moved a lot. My parents were always searching for the best educational and just experiences in general for my brothers and I. This meant my mom driving me to my 4 a.m. swim practices in one city, my brother's ice hockey practices in another, and taking care of my younger brother while my father traveled around the world shooting feature films. But that's just what parents do. And even though it was difficult, I realized that one of the most important aspects in life is adapting to change. And there was a delightful change that happened in the law school, fall of 2014. Now, at the time, we were all in transition. I personally had finished my first rowing season at UCLA, medaling in the Pac-12 championship, and I began a research project which is currently published in the International Heart and Lung Transplantation Journal. But the fall of 2014 was special right here in Chicago, because this is when Leslie Oser, Dean Rodriguez, and Emerson Tiller put their vision into action and inaugurated the very first Masters of Science in Law. There is now a societal shift that urges graduates to seek a multidisciplinary education. The Masters of Science in Law fosters us who come from science, technology, health, engineering, and mathematics to integrate business and innovation. Now, there is a phrase, thinking like a lawyer, where students go to law school to take their analytical thinking and change it in a way where they're able to communicate across all disciplines. But in more simple terms, the Masters of Science in Law caters students to thrive and change. In an environment where we experience constant change across all industries, we cannot be stuck in an amber of time. And the pioneers of the Masters of Science in Law recognize that. So they cater to the new demand, learning how to think at the intersection of law, business, and technology. And by gaining this perspective, the people behind the innovation have the instinct to change the legal structure of their entity or develop a new product in order to mitigate any legal hurdles that they may face in their organization, company, or hospital. Now, I'm going to bring you back to a moment in orientation. I'm sitting in my chair looking at Leslie and a group of administrators giving this presentation, and I genuinely become upset because I am presented with one of the biggest dilemmas I'm sure all of us have had in our academic lifetime. Guys, I didn't know what class to take. And you know, they were all so interesting. MSL students huddled in groups to pick out classes together, and our conversations turned into comparisons. Oh, are you taking employment law this term? Oh no, I'm taking data privacy. Tell me a little bit more about that. And the titles were so thought-provoking: design thinking, negotiation skills, communicating scientific information, data security and breach. It was all so impressive, especially when classes were supplemented with the law school environment. The MSLs have found our place in the law school community. We participate in follies, serve as representatives in organizations around campus, travel and study abroad, and over the past 4 years, the law school has happily adapted to this change, opening its arms to the MSL community. And throughout our time in the MSL, we studied the 4 academic pillars: intellectual property and patent design, business and entrepreneurship, regulation, and practical skills such as negotiations or public persuasion. But there are 4 virtues as well: courage, justice, leadership, and friendship. So, what's next for an MSL student? We leave here as medical students, CEOs, head researchers, patent agents, data protection officers, and future lawyers, just to name a few. And with this diversity, we have learned to negotiate, have extreme confidence, and know that continuous effort, not strength or intelligence, is the key to unlocking our potential. We speak courageously, y nosotros tenemos la oportunidad para crear un impacto por todo el mundo. Yesterday, at the public service luncheon, we heard a very moving story with a very powerful message. It's chaos, be kind. In addition, I would like to add a thought that someone special passed down to me. Time matters, people matter. Our time here in the MSL program was so valuable, and I'm very humbled to speak for the class of 2018. Thanks.
Thank you again, Lauren, and please join me in a round of applause for all 3 of our student speakers. We will now announce the Teaching Awards. Northwestern's faculty is an extraordinary group of teachers and scholars, and their most valuable contributions are measured by the close connections they make with our students, including the members of our graduating class. It is a long-standing tradition here for the graduating students to honor faculty excellence. Eric Ding will present this year's Teaching Awards. Eric served as president of the Student Bar Association, our student government, during the 2016-17 school year. He's been an outstanding leader and representative for our students in the class of 2018. Let me convey, as Eric comes forward to the stage, my gratitude to the SBA and its executive board for their selfless work which has improved our law school in tangible ways and in ways which will benefit future generations of students at Northwestern. Eric.
Thank you so much, Dean Rodriguez. Outstanding Adjunct Professor, Professor Kendrick Washington II. Outstanding First Year Course Professor, Professor Nadav Shoked. Outstanding Professor of a Small Class, Jason DeSanto, Professor Jason DeSanto. Outstanding LLM Text Professor, Professor Herbert Beller. And Robert Childress Memorial Award for Teaching Excellence, Professor Susan Provenzano.
All right, good afternoon. I am so thrilled and incredibly humbled to have received this award. But what I feel most right now is gratitude. Gratitude not just for the opportunity to have taught you, but for the opportunity to have learned from you. I was so fortunate to have half the JD class in civil procedure. Woo! I had, I think, maybe half the LLM class in my civil procedure for LLMs. And I met all of the MSL students during orientation. I am very fortunate. And also in my employment law class. That was smaller. Now, as a law teacher, I always knew there would be much to learn. But I'm delighted to say that you, my students, have been my best teachers. You taught me to relive the excitement of discovering the law, of learning its complexities and its human stories. You reminded me to question, to interrogate law's assumptions, its rationales, and even its basic wisdom. Through your eyes, I saw what must have seemed like a perplexing insistence on ambiguity in the law. And I saw the absurdities, the statutes with 10 layers of subsections and indentations impossible to track, the en banc opinions with 10 concurrences, a sentence each, quibbling with word choice, and dissents that were longer than the majority. I saw it all, warts and all, the law through your eyes. But you taught me far more important things as well. You taught me about managing time in a time of managing information, being bombarded by more than ever before and having to make sense of it all during a very intensive course of study. You taught me about making your way through an unfamiliar environment, an unfamiliar pedagogy, an unfamiliar language. And you taught me about resilience, about embracing greatness while letting go of perfectionism, and about the importance of making mistakes that benefit you more than any A+ ever could. Had I stayed a practicing lawyer, I would never have learned these things from you, my students. And that is the source of my very deep gratitude this afternoon. Now I have the opportunity to honor some students, some student leaders and peers who embrace and represent all of the things that I have been talking about here. They are our student award winners. And as I announce each winner, I would like him or her to come to the stage. And I'm going to make a very big ask of all of you, which is to please hold your applause until all of them are up here with me. All righty, the Courage Award comes first. This award goes to the student who has shown the greatest courage in surmounting obstacles and barriers to entering into, remaining in, or completing his or her legal education. This year, we have 2 winners who were voted together as a unit. Their names are Jem Uyar and Karen Villagomez. All right, we can clap, it's fine. Let's clap. Yes, stay right there. Okay, very good. Okay, so you can clap, it's all right. The Legal Profession Award is next. This award goes to the student who has made the greatest contribution to professional responsibility and to the practice of law. This year, 2 students tied for this award, Jordan Blaine and Garrett Fields. And now we have the Service Award for the student who has shown the greatest dedication and commitment to public service in the practice of law. The winner is Eleanor Kittelstad. Next, we have the Leadership Award, given to the student who has made the greatest contribution to leadership in the student community. This year's winner is Ariel Tolman. And finally, we have the Wigmore Key. This award goes to the student who has done the most to uphold the traditions of the law school. And this year, the winner is Cubby Larty. All right, boisterous round of applause for all of the winners.
Thank you, Sue, and congratulations to all the students. In what's already been a somewhat unusual convocation, I hope you won't mind me reporting updated information. The colleague of ours who collapsed backstage has been taken to Northwestern Hospital. He is stable, is doing well. It almost certainly was not a heart attack. So we're just so very, very pleased. I should say Northwestern Hospital. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our graduation speaker, Sharon Bowen. Sharon is a 1982 graduate of our JD MBA program. That's right, give it up. And is the director of the Intercontinental Exchange. She is a retired partner from the international law firm of Latham & Watkins. She's a former commissioner of the United States Commodity Futures Trading Commission and was the first African American to ever hold this position. She was sworn in on June 9, 2014, and served on the CFTC until 2017. In the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis, one of the main responsibilities of the CFTC was reforming the $400 trillion unregulated swaps market with regulatory oversight. While Commissioner Bowen served as a sponsor of the CFTC Market Risk Advisory Committee, an advisory committee established under her leadership in 2015. Prior to her position on the CFTC, Sharon Bowen was confirmed by the United States Senate and appointed by President Obama to serve as vice chair and acting chair of the Securities Investor Protection Corporation. Prior to her work in the Obama administration, Bowen had a renowned 3-decade career in corporate and transactional law, first as an associate at Davis Polk & Wardwell, and later as an associate and then partner at Latham & Watkins. Sharon is the recipient of many honors, including Metropolitan Black Bar Association 2006 Lawyer of the Year and 2011 Diversity Trailblazer Award of the New York State Bar Association. We are honored to be joined today by such an accomplished individual, and my friend, please join me in welcoming Sharon Bowen.
It's a little bit warm in these things. Thank you for that kind introduction. I want to begin by recognizing the key stakeholders who joined me in celebrating the graduating class of 2018. President Shapiro, Provost Holloway, Dean Rodriguez, professors, administrators, alumni, grandparents, parents, spouses, siblings, and children of the class of 2018. Not only are you the biggest fans of these graduates, you have also been the anchors in their lives while they attended law school. Because of your guidance and support, these students have lived in a special community of trust where they have developed the talent of critical thinking and been afforded the rare gift of time to discover their strengths, hopes, and dreams. Class of 2018, please join me in applauding these invaluable supporters who surround you today. It is an honor to be asked to deliver the Convocation address to the Northwestern Pritzker Law School graduating class of 2018. I'd like to speak to you today as you embark upon your new careers about 3 important things. 1, discovering your power. 2, finding your purpose. And 3, enabling others to find theirs. In the 36 years, how's that possible? Since I sat where you're sitting, the world has changed considerably. Things look very different after I've walked the path than when I first stood at the crossroads. And the view is inspiring. Compared to the class of 1982, your class is more diverse. 49% female, 30% minority, 13% non-resident alien. 2 of your DACA students. And you are impressively dedicated. 90% of you have participated in the legal clinic, and your team won the 2000 National Trial Competition. What else is different? Starting on September 1, the Dean of Pritzker will be, for the first time, a woman, Professor Kimberly Urraco. And how's this for change? By September, 6 of the top 12 law schools, Yale, Stanford, Columbia, Virginia, Duke, and Northwestern, will all be led by women. When I entered Northwestern in 1978, female faces were fewer. Black women's faces were even rare. But I loved my time here at Northwestern and discovered 3 things that have carried me through life. I grew to know my power, to find my purpose, and to connect with others on behalf of a greater good. My long journey from girlhood in the segregated South illustrates how these 3 principles affected the course of my life and how they can influence yours too. I grew up in a little town in Chesapeake, Virginia, the youngest of 5 children in a family where learning was a paramount virtue. My father worked 2 jobs, one of them at the Naval Shipyard, to support us. My mother earned extra money sewing and doing other women's hair in our kitchen. I always had a love of reading. I was the kid devouring books at night with a flashlight under the bed covers, reading 2 to 3 books a week. In those days, in the 1960s, Virginia was still racially segregated. I went to an all-Black elementary school that my brothers and sisters also attended. It was a very enriching experience. The rigorous support, attention, and encouragement that I received at my all-Black elementary school truly propelled me forward in my education and later in my professional career. But when I was entering high school, desegregation arrived, and I was bused to what had been an all-white school. It was hard, and it was scary. I saw KK rallies and cross burnings in my neighborhood. Luckily, I had the support of my family and a community of neighbors, teachers, and others who challenged the obstacles standing in the way of African Americans' full rights as citizens. That community gave me the courage and confidence. At that young age, I already had a connection to a network that would help me succeed in the wider world. I received my undergraduate degree at University of Virginia and made plans to get advanced degrees in business and law. When a recruiter from Northwestern reached out to me, I said yes, even though I'd never been to Chicago and didn't know a soul here. I grew to love this place, except for the frigid winter months spent walking from Michigan Avenue towards the law school as ice crystals formed in my nostrils. The culmination of these experiences helped me to understand my capabilities. When I ultimately embarked on a new adventure at Northwestern, I grew to understand my power. Yes, by the time I graduated from Northwestern, I knew what my power was. I was armed with a potent tool that you too are receiving today, a first-rate legal education and a law degree. Once you recognize your power, you get to decide how to use it to chart your own path. My path? I knew I wanted to make a difference, even if I didn't know exactly how. So I headed to New York in 1982 and started my career at a top Wall Street law firm. Back then, there were very few associates who looked like me, and even fewer Black partners. I think if I'd actually looked at the numbers in the profession back then, I would have been discouraged. But it never occurred to me that I couldn't become a partner at a law firm. What kept me going were the connections I formed with other women of color who were also working at Wall Street law firms. Networks, I believe, are absolutely critical. You support each other and learn from each other. My network of women peer-mentored each other. We helped each other to understand our power. We also mentored African-American law students at NYU, Columbia, Brooklyn Law School, and other institutions. We found that the best way to move forward was to pay back. And yes, I made partner at Latham & Watkins, and 2 other African-American women in our network also became partners at major law firms. Being a partner presented other opportunities to make a difference. I wanted to do for other people, including the less fortunate, what I and my peers had experienced walking into our own power. For instance, while I was at Latham, we adopted a middle school in Harlem. We created a pre-law curriculum for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. We developed courses on topics such as constitutional law, landlord-tenant rights, business, and finance. It was thrilling to see these students gain confidence in playing the roles of attorney, expert witnesses, and jury in our annual mock trial competition. Later, I learned that one of the students would attend law school because of these experiences. That was profoundly gratifying. My life took another turn, and I found another way to use my power for purpose when I moved from corporate law to government service. While at Latham, President Obama appointed me as vice chair of the Securities Investor Protection Corporation. There, I heard from investors who had lost their jobs, homes, retirement accounts, and life savings during the 2008 financial crisis amid the bankruptcies of Madoff, MF Global, and Lehman Brothers. I retired from my law firm to be appointed by President Obama in 2014 to be a commissioner of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. My goal was to represent those whose voices had not been heard. It was a privilege to serve in government, and I encourage you to do so at some point in your career. It is rewarding, but in a much different way than law firm practice. Law firm practice is fast. Rulemaking in government is very, very, very slow. Yet each day I recognize the importance of the work we were doing. We had all been blindsided by the financial crisis. We thought we knew our markets, only to later discover the dark, opaque market of derivatives trading. Through rulemaking, we were able to shine light on these markets, create transparency, and lessen systemic risk. We've worked hard to regain our citizens' trust in our financial markets and institutions. There's still work left to be done, and now it's your turn. Find your purpose, use your power, test it, stretch it, and walk in it with confidence. Each generation has its own defining moments, yet you face many of the recurrent problems that challenged my generation. We've made some progress, but inequality persists in access to justice, to a decent education, to health care, and safe housing. The wage gap, too, still looms. To address these imbalances, we must combat the bigotry, stereotypes, and unconscious bias that perpetuates them. There are numerous roles you can play. You don't need to change everyone. Making a difference in just one person's life is powerful. You will chart your own path, and because you're smart and want to do good in the world, you will find in time to know your own unique power, to find your special purpose, and to connect with others to make it a reality. But while you're on your journey of self-knowledge, let me suggest one immediate way you can make a difference. My second call to action is for you to help others around you and behind you to find their power too. One way you can do this is by making sure that our distinguished law school continues to attract inspirers who are as diverse and dedicated as the graduating class here today. You can do this by helping to address inadequate financial assistance, which is a significant barrier to entering law school. The law school has made great strides in this area. Numerous scholarships, internships, and fellowship programs have been financed by the generous donations of alumni, faculty, and friends of the law school. In 2016, 9 new initiatives were launched, and the school made progress in reducing the average student's debt. Significantly, the school's investment in financial aid roughly quadrupled between 2011 and 2017. I applaud the law school, especially Dean Rodriguez, for these actions, and I thank those whose contributions are helping preserve and enhance the Northwestern difference. Please join me in applauding these individuals. I personally know how important this is. I would not be standing here today without the benefit of a full academic scholarship and financial aid from the law and business schools. In closing, I urge you to remember that your value as lawyers won't be measured by word count or the 6 minutes of each hour you will bill to a client. Your success and happiness, I believe, will be determined by the purpose you pursue, how you choose to use your power, and the connections you make. I do hope, as part of your purpose, that you will join me in making a commitment to the Northwestern difference, to use your legal education and skills to champion justice, peace, and equality. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharon, for those inspiring words. You were so very gracious and generous in acknowledging the contributions of us, me, and so many others. But likewise, your contributions in so many different ways to our law school have been really tremendous, and thank you for that. Thank you for. Now, at long last, it is time to present today's graduates. At Northwestern Pritzker School of Law, we follow an academic tradition that dates back to the 13th century, which you can read more about in your program. As each graduate's name is called, they will come forward and be adorned with an academic hood, which signifies their degree and welcomes them into the community of Northwestern Pritzker School of Law alumni. As our program indicates, we will award 9 different degrees today. Professor John Thornton will read the names of the LLM and MSL graduates, and Professor Len Rabinowitz will read the names of the JD and JD MBA graduates. Faculty closely involved with each degree program will help distribute the hoods.
The candidates for the degree of Master of Laws, to be hooded by Adi Altschuler, Jide Nzelebe, and Jim Speta. Guillermo Sea. Chatai Akoyon. Cyrus Goko, to be hooded by his brother, Janelle. Cyrus is with his son, Pablo. Flavia Amoroso de Sena. Alan Cooper-Smith Stavchansky. Maria del Mar del Cueto Cibrian. Andrés Felipe Saldariago Londoño. Jose Tomas Rosemary. Juan Guillermo Nurvega. Olivia Lopez Ibor Jaume. Tomas Mizrahi. Enrico Lemes Benedet. Andrés Diaz Barriga Ocampo. Yenran Xin. Dongfang Huo. Iwei Huang. Yichun Xiang. Mi Liang. Kue Huang. Sung En Huang. Hao Cheng. Tianlu Li. Huidong Chen. Junhua Li. Junhao Chun. Juishui Fu. Jin Cao. Mengdie Yen. Francesco Tagliagambe. Benedetta Belloni. Ana Sofia Barnasiak. Daniela Peirano. Sonia Subasic. Maria Velasco Samudio. Stuti Murarka. Shagun Sanjay Parekh. Mispa Sheikh. Lucille Martin Sartou. Delphine Nioul. Konstantin Vishnat. Maria Elitsey Weinmann. Elizabeth Lehnartz. Morgan Trigg. Harry Just. Yoshinori Hirai. Yuto Matsuda. Michitaro Serizawa. Reifen Tantai. Yi Lu, Chang Shu, Yue Wang. Mengxuan Zhu, Zia Tang, Wenna Lu with her baby Evelyn. Hui Jiang, Sao Tien Peng, Tong Yang. Wei Tao Xing, Chen Yen Fun, Meng Die Zhang. Ziali Zhang, Jieshun Zhou, Xianyu Sun. Wei Luo, Yiwen Wang, Wenjuan Wang. Baopu Zhang, Wei Cui, Chiyokazu Shindo. Müge Minarece, Ezge Arslanpay, Mevesh Ardam. Shogo Nakamura, Tayuka Tome, Satoru Ohashi. Shua Gu, Shuehin Si, Yun Bai. Jingyi Zhang, Rodrigo Mora Silva, Alejandro Cardona Tapia. Zuhan Chen, Yi Zhang, Shining Yang. Yi Yang, Ming Gao, Ziyu Yan. Muhui Shi, Rei Kun Cao, Natalia Dokuto Rosa Jordao. Andre Marcasa, Max von Krenest, Lais Ita Bonjuni Pfefferman. Mariana Resende, Guilherme Marial, Maria Alice Ubaldo de Mendoza. Samuel Carveo Gaudancio. Amanda Sequeira Rolim Aruda. Carl Hinn. Patricia Cabral Betancourt. Shu Yu Lin. Wei Ching Hu. Ariane Kartika Sari. Shi Yi Shu. Tingwei Chang. Yifan Xie. Qisheng Liu. Minghan Wu. Wei U Chiu, Mengshan Tsai, Asako Iida. Akiko Nakamura, Ungwon Jo, Kwang Chun Choi, with his daughter Eileen Choi. Chan Kang, with his daughter Stella. Kyungjin Kim, with children, with daughter Solshin. Jae Hyung Park. Cecile Uba, Pranav Kadavakar, Shinmin Ma. Chien Luo, Xiaoxian Li, Yuan Yuan Lu.
Congratulations.
Jianing Hu, Gustavo Vieira, Mayu Sasaki. Mung Tsao Han, Ximing Li. That is the end of the Master of Law. Candidates for the degree of Master of Laws in International Human Rights: Shiwen Kang, Tatiana Yaramko, Raisa Carrillo Villamazar, Victoria Carmona, Daniel Marin Lopez, Trilce Gabriela Valdivia Aguilar, Sarah Jean Diaz, with her children Julian and Lucia. Kaylin Francis Garrett, Alexa Mackenzie Posliff. Nisha D. Abiraz, Melissa Ann Robel. That is the end of the Master of Laws in International Human Rights. The candidates for the degree of Master of Laws in Taxation, to be hooded by Herb Beller, Charlotte Crane, Jeffrey Sheffield, Robert Wooten. Ryan Scortino with his son Felipe. Carl Suzan. Ju Hong Lee. Amit Kumar Patak, Tomohiro Terada, Sung Yoon Chung, with daughter Erin. Kyle Martin, Viraj Menon, Jamie J.R. Holtz. Brett Stanley, Guillermo Cardenas, Leighton Regis. Mohammed Burhan Jajul with son Adim. Maria Paz de Carcer Ruiz Tegel. Yarden Kolani. Pablo Edmundo Leal, Benjamin Allen Schrimmer Rubin, Emily Glassner, Benjamin with daughter Kalina, I need a whole lot of names.
Jason, make sure those kids don't fall off the stage.
I believe you. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, sir. You're Lafayette. Thank you. Alafia Shangol Wright, with children Sebastian, Olivia, Simone, Solomon, and Malachi. Corey Evans, Rhonda Michelle Dinkins. Abosede Odunsi, Brandon O. Theus, Harith J. Raza, Nicholas McKissick, Jordan Hartman, Maura Eileen Bolin, Amanda Carey Lyons Archambault, Leila Martins Cajeta, Georgina Salcido, Deepika Sharma, Jose Rafael Rodriguez, Yani Zheng, Sawani Termsanvinich, Jack Light Townsend Jr., Oliver R. Merrill, Israel Hovel, with children Ival and Annabelle. Ryan M. Connery. This is the end of Master of Laws in Taxation. Candidates for the Executive LLM Chicago program: Rostislav Igorovich Romanichev, Katerina Mamiko, Fiona June Fear Gregory. Carla Jose Carlucci, Dario Preisner Renteria, Daniel de Aquino Ludwig Pereira, Jorge Andres Betancourt Turo, that's the end of the Executive LLM Chicago. The candidates for the Master of Laws Executive Program, Madrid: Domenico Luca Scordino, Daniela De Bellis, Cauldi Gandarias Ferrero, Kuram Khan, Diana Cecilia Puerto Pinzon, Daniel Esteban Robalino Orellana, Gabriela Guzman Flores with her son Javier, Stephanie Meyer, Maria Jose Najera Sanchez, Rodolfo Pinto, Edward Blakely, Moises Junca Acevedo, Rodrigo Martin Pesanta Sáenz, Juan Antonio Vallejo Ordóñez, Edgar Antonio Gomez Alvarez, That is the end of the Master of Laws executive program. The candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Law, to be hooded by Lynn Cohn, Emerson Tiller, and Ellen Mullaney. Catherine Grace Kirschbaum, Angad Verma, Brian Berkeley Thompson,
I almost messed that up, Jim. Watching it.
Catherine Wang, Stephanie Ann Zhao, Pradeep Kumar Nara with daughter Kyra, Samuel Safwat Tadros, Stephen Matthew Hansen, Jacqueline Schreier Praga, Katarina Milosavljevic, Brian Thomas Gutermuth, Christian Jonathan Lee. Kevin Patrick Dwyer, Michael Tyler Wedeking, Elise Alexandra Alston, Ross Michael Grant, Nardine Barakat Dawood, Rachel Claire Getz. Ala Zuhair Al-Ghalayini, Jack Thomas Gallagher, Charles Robert Asselmeyer, Lauren Robinson, Janessa Nelson, Danielle Mir Hanan, Destiny Dawn Bailey, Jackson Neil Furlong, Sun Kyung Lee, Sichi Fan, Elisa Yang, Roshi Sun, Stephanie Marie Ryu, Kelsey O'Neill Brown, Francesca Natasha Tanchoco Tizon, Anita M. Thomas, Abhaya Triveni Moturu, Mastini Irani, Nader Nomat, Yasmin Sultana Khan, Jennifer Lee Kutsier, Michael Dixon McRaven with his son Jake. Jessica Jones. Jean Chang. Corina Raimondo with her children Alessandro and Tommaso. Setong Williams Mavong. Yujiao Guo. Dorante Akiza. Fangi Nangia. Mishal Asha Hassan. Aditi Iyengar. Erica Eureka Cowens. Tristesse Katessa Jasmine Burton, PhD. And baby Jessica on the way.
TMI.
Angelo Daniel Rodriguez with daughter Reina. Dion James dos Santos Copelan, walking with his daughter Piper Grace. Heabert Daniel Diamond. Laurel Ashton Banta. Peng Dung. Purin Jodvanich.
I know because it's tight in here to like direct traffic. Congratulations.
Bihong Lu. Shahan Michael Tangaratnam. Tin Phai Jonathan Lau. Gregory Edwin Amenta. Harper Xiang. Junyao Liu.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Good luck to you. Congratulations.
Yan Wang. Juin Yang Lien. Jun Tong Liu. Chuan Chuan He. Dongyan Yu. Junyue Li. Wei Rui Chai. Han Chung Wang. Liang Mu. Sen Lee. Rana Sabir, to be hooded by Matthew Lawson. That is the end of the Master of Science in Law.
Candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor and Master of Business Administration to be hooded by Aaron Delaney, Destiny Puri, Sue Provenzano. Christina Armina Muradian. Joseph Marshall. Claire Ruby Meyer. Shannon Terrell Essick. Catherine Kim. Darren Shea Foote. Tanu Sinha. Rebecca Eve Weissman. Christopher Blake Allen. Tae Hee Brian Lee and his daughter, Un Yu Maribel Lee. Junho Lee. Kyle Ward Menges. Han Suk Ko. Curtis Ashtosh. Wei-Thi Chow.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Hongbin Ju. Francis Sevilla Sikasa. Davion Shantae Ebony Chisholm. Aaron Michael Chokla and his daughter Kenzie. Alexi Tegay. Christopher Michael Tierney.
I feel her right now.
Varun Mohan Suchdev. Nicholas Andrew Krislov. Joshua Michael Ryan Robinson. Benjamin Jerome Bradley. Derek Jones. That is the end of Juris Doctor and Master of Business Administration. For the degree of Juris Doctor, Elizabeth M. Bright. Mavish Uslam Shokat. Holly Renee Morris. Erica Ann Dirk. Jordan M. Blaine. Khalid Elwani. Connor Walsh Hegedus. Chloe Rebecca Corbin. Emily Marie Halter. Stephen Cubby Aya Latte. Andrew V. Kressbach. Benjamin Koenigsfeld. Shruti Nambori. Theodore N. Battis. Joseph Hawkins. Claire Marie Hutar, Lauren Eve Radosky, Elizabeth Ann Ross, Elizabeth Westrop, Maxine Montana, Sarah Elizabeth Loisel, Sania Chu, Anna Christine Pekchin, Aaron Snyder, sons Benjamin and William, and daughter Felicity. Kayla Hayes Doyle, Margaret Grace Hausnecht, Catherine Marcille Funderburg, Adithi Sharitha Grama, Deepa Ramikrishnan, Jack Licata, Jolene Nicole Smith, Christine Fiedler, Derek Mang, John L. Wolf, Taya Fani, Heidi Savabi, Kimberly Wang, Catherine Chang, Robin Bernstein, Justin Lim, An Amin, Peter Isham, Grace Hutz, Evan Joseph Muller, Emma Jane O'Connor. Thanks, Steve. Monica Kacholek, Jessica Rose Levy, John Barrick Bowman, Carlos Jose Andreu, JD PhD Thomas Henry Roos, Juris Doctor and PhD Ariel Waloshin Tolman, continuing with Juris Doctor Larry Ann Dirks, Theo Lashinsky and Eva Ann Maxwell, and Sarah Kate Sillins with Noah and Mickey. Charles Patrick Hogel, Stephen Morovic, Tony Traina, Luis Eduardo Rafael Quiñones Fernandez, Mario DeAndre Robertson, Lindsay Jane Blum, Sheridan Lee Caldwell, Kirsten Caroline Lee, Samantha Lynn Rodriguez, Jessica Mara Lily Rose. Jessica Larson. Megan Ann Augustin Ellie. Mark Sinah. John Nicholas Pavletic Jr. Jonathan C. Gordon. Daniel Joseph Cohen. Megan Elise Richard. Brooke Troutman. Jeffrey Messing. Eric John Chanowski. Matthew Charles Hutchinson. David S. Reed. Francesco Antonio Castaldi II. Zachary Joseph Murray. Brandon John Harmer. Jordan Mark Woods. Roman Shapurko. Haley Maddle. Benjamin Lloyd Jones. Jingwen Chu. Jacob Volz. Lane Lansdowne. Joseph Mintz. Joseph Eugene Becker. Lisa Renee Wisnitzer. Jennifer Ashley Friedman. Jerry Benjamin Hirschfeld. Cody Miles Gaffney. Eric Wertheim. For the degree of Juris Doctor and Master of Laws in International Human Rights, Pedro Pisano. Continuing with Juris Doctor, Eric X. Ding. Robert Allen Dixon, Jr. Song Jong Hong. So Yoon Sophie Oh. Yoon Hee Rachel Park. Yansu Kim. Claire Elizabeth Walsh. Sadie Concepcion. Eleanor Kittlestad. Mallory McKenzie. Zai Anthony Hooks. Anthony P. Burrows II. Tiffany L. Caldwell. Stephanie Lynette Woodard. Christine Annalise Ravello Lee. Bianca Cerreto. Karen Villagomez. Cindy Gerges. Sandra Melissa Lopez. Carter Samuel Plotkin. Todd William Shaw. Matt Skiba. Ryan Philip Hirschler.
Thank you, Dean.
Andrew David Detmer. Laura McGilton. Victor Matsunaga.
Congratulations. Thanks for all you do.
Patrick Colin Sullivan. Vincent Dutkowski. Hongji Liu. Gregory Gage Peterson. Hannah Rebecca Fryman. Miriam Piguero Medrano. Betsy Grace Varnaw. Frances Natalie Guerrero. Jem Uyar. Kareem Salim Popatia. Sean Stanton. Samuel Halter. Ryan Martin Kenzo Riffle. Zachary J. Strom. Omar L. Kolak. Seth Pardawala. Natasha Karamali. Paulina Marta Matea. Joshua Seth Fintel. Olivia Lugar. Connor James Minetto with his son Landon James Minetto. Wai-Chi Lu. Trun Du. Machin Liu. Xiaomeng Zheng. Shi Zuo. Tianzi Zhao. Paul Chanwan Lee with his son, Jaden. Taylor Nicole Mullaney. Taylor Honore Liefers Swart. For the degree of Doctor, Juris Doctor and Master of Laws in International Human Rights, Allison Krause Elder and son, Kieran Mitchell Elder. Continuing with Juris Doctor, Garrett Salzman. Marshita Uwalomi. Lauren Emile Scarrett. Ladette Sue Asifa. John Joseph Michaels. Shelley Nicole Awe. Summer Marquette. Bridget McCarthy. Emily Elizabeth O'Toole. Luke Mathers. Christopher Palfy. Connor Madden. Gentry Lanza. Michael Philip Gajeski. Ian Flanagan. Maliha Ikram. Claudia Teresa Brokish. Brian T. Volcarsi. Jared James Doe. David Hall. Garrett Fields. Devin Taylor Clee. Frank George III. Jason Mitchell. Vanessa Mekbong. Joreen Uy.
Congratulations. Good luck to you. Congratulations.
Michael White. Andre A. Punchuk. Haley Lorraine Soshnick, to be hooded by her father, Drew Soshnick. One more.
Congratulations.
Armando Raul Mendez, hooded by Michael Llorente. Kathleen Claire Stevens, hooded by her father, Mark Stevens. Palmer Kwame, hooded by Stephen Kwame. Jacqueline Lydia Yanover, hooded by her mother, Justice Margaret Frassard, and her sisters, Annie Yanover and Katie Yanover.
You too.
Sorry, lots of hugs there at the end. I think that we owe the class of 2018 another round of applause. My name is Susie Spies-Roth, and I'm the Associate Dean and Dean of Students. I pay them a lot of money to do that. Those of you who know me well will know that I'm not typically at a loss for words. But as I was mulling over my speech for today, I honestly did not know how to adequately convey my immense pride and heartfelt congratulations to all of you today. So I called in my A-team, AKA my 5-year-old daughter and my 2.5-year-old son. I explained that on Friday, Mommy was going to speak to her graduating students at the end of the Convocation ceremony. My son immediately turned back to his train table and stopped listening to me entirely, but my daughter had so many questions. What did the students study? Why is this so exciting? Who will be there? And what happens next? And I started to think, you know what? Those are some important questions. And so, like the good lawyer I am, I started doing some research, gathering information, and crafting some replies. My daughter's first question was, what did the students study? This was a tough one to answer. The students studied the law, which is such a giant amorphous topic that explaining it to a 5-year-old seemed nearly insurmountable. I finally settled on, the law is a set of rules we all have to follow. People who understand the law acquire skills that forever change the way they approach problems. They become much better at winning arguments. My daughter, I think I'd be a good lawyer. I will always win all of my arguments with my little brother, sometimes with you too, Mommy. True story. Next, she asked, why is this so exciting? Oh my goodness, why is it not? These students have worked for at least a year, and in some cases several years, to master legal doctrine, to fundamentally change the way they process information and communicate their positions. And they have become equipped with skill sets that will allow them to change the world. This, my child, is exciting. Then she wants to know who will be there. Well, this point should not be glossed over, nor taken lightly. You, all of you people terrifying me in the audience out there, not you guys in purple, I know you guys. You are the individuals who have made today possible. The parents, the partners, the spouses, the siblings, the offspring, the friends. You are the ones who fielded the late-night panicked phone calls the day grades came out. You are the ones who helped lug couches and lamps into Streeterville apartments. You are the ones who indulged dinnertime conversations about promissory estoppel and the confrontation clause. Without all of you, our graduates would never have made it to this most important day. You allowed them to accomplish something truly remarkable. They are now graduates of the greatest institution for legal education in the entire universe. I'm obviously not at all biased. Northwestern Pritzker School of Law. And then, finally, my daughter's last question. What happens next? Well, truly, all sorts of things. But one thing is particularly important. All of you donning purple robes today, you will be joining the community of Northwestern Law alumni, a strong, supportive, impactful, richly diverse, and brilliant community of individuals who are here to guide you, to challenge you, and to hold your hand when you need it. You may not yet be rooting exclusively for the Wildcats, and you may not yet own a closet full of purple, but I can promise you that Northwestern Law, the place where you have spent so many hours learning, writing, researching, analyzing, laughing, and sometimes in my office, crying, will be forever with you. Glad I got a cheer. Will be forever with you in your hearts and forever in your corner. After I explained all of this to my daughter, while my son happily played with his trains, I again asked both of my children what I should say at the law school graduation. So with that, I'll leave you with the words of people far wiser than I. First, my daughter, who, when she arrived home from school that day, proudly presented me with an envelope. "Here's your speech, Mom," she said. So here goes. Hello. It is such an honor to be here. I am excited for the 550 students who are graduating. You really worked hard. I am really proud of all the students who are graduating. And my son, who was equally helpful. Say, pizza. Congratulations to the Northwestern Pritzker Law Class of 2018. This concludes our graduation convocation. On behalf of Dean Rodriguez, I invite everyone to return to the law school and join the faculty for a reception and well-deserved celebration in the atrium. The faculty will recess off the stage first, after which the students will recess from their seats to the stage and out of the theater. Congratulations again.